Welcome back to Ripple News on XRP Insider, where we bring you the latest updates, price action, and market-moving developments surrounding XRP and the entire crypto space. Today's update is grabbing serious attention because XRP is once again sitting at a critical level while investors keep a close eye on what's happening in Washington and across the broader crypto market. Right now, XRP is trading around $1.47 after posting a solid 3.22% move over the past 24 hours. And traders are starting to wonder if this is the beginning of another larger breakout or simply a temporary recovery before the next big decision from the market. What makes this moment even more interesting is that XRP is not just moving because of technical charts anymore. There is now growing focus on regulation, institutional adoption, and the future legal framework for digital assets in the United States. And many analysts believe XRP could become one of the biggest beneficiaries if the current momentum continues building behind the Digital Asset Market Clarity Act. Over the last several trading sessions, XRP has shown signs of strength, despite the market facing periods of uncertainty and short-term profit-taking. The token managed to maintain support above the $1.43 level, which many analysts now consider a critical structural zone for maintaining bullish momentum. Traders have noticed that every time XRP dips toward this range, buyers quickly step back into the market and absorb the selling pressure. That behavior is important because it suggests confidence among long-term holders and larger investors who appear willing to accumulate during weakness instead of panic selling. At the same time, resistance around the $1.50 to $1.54 range continues acting like a wall that bulls are trying to break through. This range has become one of the most discussed levels across crypto trading communities because a strong close above it could potentially trigger another wave of momentum buying from traders who have been waiting on the sidelines for confirmation. Another major factor driving attention toward XRP right now is the impressive trading activity surrounding the token. Over the past 24 hours, XRP has recorded more than $2.3 billion in trading volume, which shows that market interest remains extremely active even during periods of consolidation. High trading volume often indicates that investors are positioning themselves ahead of a potentially major move, and many traders believe the current setup resembles earlier accumulation phases that XRP experienced before significant rallies in previous market cycles. Some analysts are even comparing today's market structure to the conditions seen before XRP experienced explosive upward momentum during past bull runs. While nobody can guarantee price direction in the crypto market, the combination of strong support, heavy volume, and increasing regulatory optimism has created a situation where investors are paying very close attention to every new headline and every movement on the charts. One of the biggest reasons behind the renewed excitement is the growing conversation surrounding the Digital Asset Market Clarity Act, often referred to by many investors as the Clarity Act. This legislation has quickly become one of the most important topics in the crypto industry because it aims to provide a more defined legal framework for digital assets in the United States. Recent reports indicate that the bill has advanced through the Senate Banking Committee, bringing it one step closer to a potential Senate floor vote. For the broader crypto industry, this represents more than just another piece of legislation. Many investors believe it could finally provide clearer distinctions between digital commodities and securities, helping remove some of the uncertainty that has held back institutional participation for years. And when it comes to XRP specifically, many market participants see this as a potentially historic development. The reason XRP holders are reacting so strongly to these legislative updates is because regulatory clarity has been one of the largest obstacles facing the token over the past several years. Since the long-running legal discussions involving Ripple and U.S. regulators first began, uncertainty has affected investor sentiment, exchange listings, and institutional confidence. But now, many investors believe the tide may finally be turning. If lawmakers move toward officially recognizing certain digital assets as commodities under clearer rules, XRP could potentially benefit from a more stable legal environment that allows larger financial institutions to engage more openly with the asset. This is one of the key reasons why analysts say Capitol Hill developments are now influencing XRP price action almost as much as technical indicators and market sentiment. Across social media platforms and crypto communities, discussions surrounding XRP have intensified significantly over the past week. Traders are debating whether the current consolidation is preparing the market for another major breakout. Some believe XRP could continue trading sideways until there is additional confirmation regarding the Clarity Act, while others argue that institutional investors may already be positioning themselves quietly before broader public interest returns. What makes XRP unique in the eyes of many supporters is its long-standing focus on payment solutions, banking partnerships, and cross-border transaction efficiency. Unlike meme-driven assets that depend heavily on hype cycles, XRP supporters often argue that the token's long-term value proposition is tied to real-world financial infrastructure and adoption potential. Market analysts are also paying close attention to broader macroeconomic conditions that could influence crypto markets in the coming weeks. Bitcoin's recent stability has helped create a more supportive environment for altcoins, including XRP, while expectations regarding future interest rate decisions continue shaping investor behavior across global financial markets. When risk appetite improves, capital often flows back into digital assets, and XRP historically tends to perform strongly during periods of broader crypto optimism. Some traders believe that if Bitcoin maintains strength above key psychological levels, XRP could gain additional momentum and potentially attempt another move toward the higher resistance zones that many investors are already watching closely. At the same time, not every analyst is predicting immediate upside without caution. Some market watchers continue warning that XRP still faces technical barriers that need to be overcome before confirming a larger bullish continuation. The $1.50 to $1.54 resistance zone remains extremely important because repeated rejections from that level could encourage short-term traders to take profits, potentially slowing momentum temporarily. However, many bullish analysts argue that the longer XRP consolidates near resistance without experiencing major breakdowns, the more likely it becomes that buyers are building strength for a larger move later. This tug-of-war between bulls and bears is exactly why XRP remains one of the most closely watched assets in the crypto market today. Another interesting development is the growing number of institutional conversations surrounding digital assets as regulatory clarity improves worldwide. Financial firms that previously avoided direct involvement with cryptocurrencies due to legal uncertainty are now beginning to explore blockchain-related opportunities more seriously. If legislation like the Clarity Act ultimately creates a clearer environment for compliance and asset classification, some experts believe XRP could benefit because of its established market presence and payment-focused ecosystem. This possibility is one reason many long-term XRP supporters remain optimistic despite the volatility and uncertainty that still exists throughout the broader crypto industry. For retail investors, the current market environment has created a mixture of excitement and caution. Many traders are carefully monitoring live price charts on platforms like CoinMarketCap and CoinGecko as XRP fluctuates near key levels. Every small move is being analyzed for clues about the market's next direction. Some traders are focusing heavily on volume patterns and momentum indicators, while others are watching political headlines more closely than ever before. This combination of technical analysis and regulatory speculation is creating one of the most interesting periods for XRP in recent months, and many believe the next few weeks could become extremely important for determining the token's longer-term direction. One thing that continues standing out in the current XRP setup is the resilience shown by long-term holders. Despite periods of volatility and uncertainty over the years, many XRP supporters have remained committed to the project's broader vision. That loyalty is part of why XRP often experiences strong rebounds during periods of improving sentiment. When confidence returns to the market, long-term holders frequently become more vocal, attracting renewed attention from newer investors entering the space. This cycle of renewed interest can sometimes create powerful momentum shifts, especially when combined with positive external catalysts like regulatory progress or institutional adoption headlines. There is also increasing speculation regarding how future exchange activity and financial partnerships could influence XRP if regulatory clarity improves significantly in the United States. Some analysts believe clearer rules could encourage additional exchange listings, broader financial integrations, and more institutional trading products connected to XRP. While these possibilities remain speculative for now, they represent the type of developments that many investors believe could transform XRP's market position over the long term. The crypto industry has been waiting for stronger regulatory foundations for years, and many see the current legislative momentum as a major step toward that future. Another factor helping XRP maintain attention is the emotional connection many holders have developed with the asset over time. Unlike short-term speculative trends that disappear quickly, XRP has built one of the most dedicated communities in crypto. Supporters often point to the token's survival through legal battles, market crashes, and periods of intense criticism as proof of its staying power. That emotional investment creates a unique dynamic where even during periods of consolidation, the community remains highly active and engaged. This strong community presence often helps sustain visibility and discussion around XRP, even when broader market attention temporarily shifts elsewhere. As we move further into the year, many traders are now preparing for increased volatility across the crypto market. Legislative decisions, macroeconomic conditions, institutional positioning, and broader investor sentiment are all expected to play major roles in determining where XRP goes next. If the Clarity Act continues progressing through Congress while XRP maintains strong support levels, analysts believe the market could begin pricing in greater long-term optimism. On the other hand, delays or unexpected regulatory setbacks could create temporary uncertainty and volatility. Either way, it is becoming increasingly clear that XRP's future is now tied not only to charts and trading patterns, but also to the rapidly evolving political and regulatory landscape surrounding digital assets. For now, XRP remains locked in a battle between bullish momentum and technical resistance, with traders watching every development closely. The current price, around $1.47, reflects a market that is cautiously optimistic, but still waiting for stronger confirmation before committing to a larger breakout. Whether XRP eventually breaks through resistance or continues consolidating for a longer period, one thing is certain: investor attention surrounding the token is growing rapidly once again. Between strong trading volume, improving legislative momentum, and increasing institutional curiosity, XRP is once again becoming one of the most talked about assets in the crypto market. And as always, the next few headlines could change everything very quickly. Crypto markets move fast, and XRP has repeatedly shown that sentiment can shift dramatically in a short period of time. Investors around the world are now closely monitoring both price action and Capitol Hill developments, because the outcome of these discussions could shape the future of digital assets for years to come. If regulatory clarity finally arrives and institutional confidence continues building, many believe XRP could enter an entirely new chapter that looks very different from the uncertainty of the past. Until then, traders, investors, and the entire crypto community will continue watching every move closely as XRP fights to hold support, challenge resistance, and potentially prepare for what could become one of its most important periods yet.